to our channel Deep Secret to know about things that are hidden from the world and no one talks about them. Let's talk about the laws of probability would mandate that, without any intelligent input, 50% of the time the events in our world would lead to benefits for mankind. In a strictly mechanical way, life in our world ought to have manifested a sort of equilibrium. Factoring in intelligent decisions to do good might bring this average up to about 70%. That would mean that humanity would have advanced over the millennia to a state of existence where good and positive things happen in our lives more often than negative or bad things. In this way, many of the problems of humanity would have been effectively solved. War and conflict would be a rarity. Perhaps 70% of the Earth's population would have decent medical care, a comfortable roof over their heads, and sufficient nutritious food so that death by disease or starvation would be almost unheard of. In other words, human society would have evolved in some way on all levels. The facts are, however, quite different. More than 7 billion people on the Earth suffer from hunger. That's about 3 times the population of the entire USA. This is chronic, persistent hunger, which kills 24,000 people every day, or over 8 million human beings each year. 3 out of 4 who die from starvation are younger than 5 years old. How can evolved human beings accept that fact as normal? According to the Historical Atlas of the 20th century, during the past 100 years there have been approximately 2 billion deaths, including civilians, resulting from war, tyrannical governments, and man-made famine. When these figures are broken down into deaths caused by communism versus capitalism, they are almost equal, with the figure slightly higher for capitalism, which may surprise some people who believe that the capitalistic system is the right one. By their fruits you shall know them. Turning to mortality statistics that are not related to war and famine, we find that it is a bit difficult to get an actual number because the statistics are nearly always expressed in terms of percentages rather than in hard population numbers. One gets the feeling that the actual count is so frightening that this approach is used for the express purpose of avoiding having to face the facts. One thing we do know is that deaths from cardiovascular diseases and stroke are the leading cause of death in 31 of the 35 Western Hemisphere countries that report disease-related mortality statistics. The highest of these mortality rates are found in the English-speaking Caribbean, USA, Canada, Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. Mortality rates from these causes are increasing in the Central American and Latin Caribbean regions as they come more and more under the sway of Western capitalism. Again, by their fruits you shall know them. What we are talking about above are the quiet statistics from our present reality. They are quiet because nobody ever makes a big deal about them. The headlines of our newspapers do not trumpet them on the front page where they rightly belong. Even now it is easy to forget that there were 65 million deaths from World War II alone and that deaths from disease and starvation continue as a quiet, steady drumbeat of increasing mortality behind the blaring headlines of school shootings, sensational murder trials, and little Cuban boys who become the center of international custody disputes. I don't think that one single person on this planet will disagree that they want a better life for themselves and their children, and most of them will add that they do not presently have the capacity to make it a reality. Except for a very small minority of very sick people, I don't think anybody really likes to see misery and suffering, disease and death and despair, in any context. And again we must ask, if these things are so detestable to human beings at large, if so many people are working and thinking and praying to improve the conditions of our world, why isn't it happening? Support us and subscribe to our channel.